Hello, everybody. Welcome to Scene for Edessa, the Dark Crusade, Season 2. All dramatic and shit. Um, in the... we'll call them the stables. They're not really stables, no. But for Garnet, they are. Garnet has already sent Elena to collect the required blood from his fine stock. Wonderful horses, we'll say. Garnet himself rises slowly out of the bed, brushing his hair out of his face. Going through the ceremoniously clipping so it is down nice and short and curly. Staring at himself in the mirror, he doesn't see any reflection. He gets out of his own room that he has stayed in. Mina is in actually his own private room that he has kept in there himself. Why? Well, because Gareth is particular about things. He's been sleeping in one of the guest rooms. Oddly, it's more psychological than anything else as he's walking along, watching his ghoul fuss and truss. He even will partake in some feeding of his own. And eventually, Garnet is handed the same number of goblets on a silver platter, receiving a kiss on the cheek from his ghoul, as she will inform him of a few things occurring, and then will wander downstairs, out to do her various businesses out in the city. As Garnet opens the door slowly, making a creaking sound to the young Yasmina. The first thing she will see is her brother walking in with 4 goblets on a tray.
And Mina wakes about the same time each night that Garnet does, which means that in the time that he's been primping and clipping and preparing, she has been laying in a bed. Admittedly, at least the hole in her chest has knitted its way shut, but there is still ample damage to be undone. There's something to be said for at least having, consistent external fucking covering. There's probably still some damage to the ribs, but still, she is maybe propped the slightest bit up on the pillow, sat herself up a bit so that she could look around properly. But she doesn't look by any means like she has made herself at home. She doesn't look comfortable. She doesn't look especially happy. She is simply alert, and certainly by time he comes around the door is looking very pointedly in his direction, perhaps idly rubbing at her now at least whole chest with the good hand. Good evening, brother mine.
Lays the trays down in front of her. Doesn't say anything. Watches her and wants to see how hungrily she dives for that box because she can smell it. She can smell that rich, thick blood.
Oh, it's going to be a piteous roll, but let's do it. She's going to try and moderately succeed. So while she doesn't dive on it, it's pretty clear, and of course he's studying and watching, that while she is very pointedly aware of his presence, and it's something she can't help but glance to, kind of pay a keen attention to, she is just as pointedly aware of the tray. He might catch her hand kind of curling into the blanket, kind of wrapping tightly into it, grasping it, practically balling into a fist. But she doesn't launch on it just yet because she is studying Garnet as much as he's studying her.
Standing there looking calm, that heavenly sweet smile. You'd almost think he was an angel standing there. His beauty is, again, appearance 4-wise, he is stunning. But he's just watching you, smiling slightly. You see the little up curve of the lip.
And after a fairly distinct pause of the two of them studying each other, she finally shoots a fleeting glance to the tray and then back up at him. May I?
May you? You're asking me permission to indulge, are you?
Fuck it. Yeah, she goes for it. The caution completely gets thrown aside. It's pretty obvious to tell that she has some small reservation because let's face it, she's still pretty delicate. But with that kind of answer, no, fuck it. Caution be damned. She goes for the first of the glasses or the goblets.
I imagine she downs all of them hungrily.
And yeah, when there's no repercussions when she snags the first one, yeah, she downs them at an incredible speed.
Interesting. But you have to ask me permission to take what you want. Why?
Yeah. I'm not stupid. She clicks the last goblet back down on the tray.
Are you not? Why is that?
Taking what you want is well and good. But knowing who you're taking it from is important. And she leans back a bit, kind of finally puts her head back against the headboard again. Her back, for the most part, is nested into the pillow. And she loses some focus, stops concentrating on him, stops studying him as she turns the focus inward, taking the freshly gained blood and willing it to the appropriate points around her body. There's actually probably at least one audible pop as she begins to knit herself back together, undoing more of the pretty gruesome damage that's been done. Her shoulder kind of shifts. She takes a pained expression.
Make a wit stealth roll just to see how fast he can obfuscate. Fails, he doesn't, but he gets 2 successes. As she's closing in on herself, focusing herself.
Yep, she focuses inward. She takes up something of a knit in the brow, a pained expression, probably even hissing as things begin to right themselves. Though, as her focus shifts again, kind of fades from the now in progress knitting, she'll give a glimpse around the room when Garnet is not where she left him. The door is, I assume, still open.
Still wide open. When he appears right beside her, whispering in her ear. And do you know not to take from me?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because there are things I want more than things that are yours.
I see. He'll turn and begin to pace, hands clasped behind his back. I see. And so if they wanted more, would you try to take them from me?
She's idly again. The hand lifts back up, this time the other one, rubbing idly at, her sternum. I want to live more than I want anything you have.
Oh, Mina. How little you know. How little you understand.
He'll catch the faintest tinge of frustration. Just the barest little, catches that little eyebrow furrow she does. Maybe the tiny little nose wrinkle, but she doesn't say a thing.
We all take from each other, one way or another. We all take what we need. Take and take and take and take. You believe you're taking back control and surviving. But are you really if you just lie here, hoping that you answer my questions the right way? All I see from you, all I know from you is something that is blindly charging from one stop to the next. No control, no order. You see, chaos is our mistress, but we are not governed by it. We're not controlled and consumed by it. We know the difference between wanton indulgence and mindless waste. But we know this inside of all of us more than any of them. What have you done apart from wander in violently and then be shackled like a dog? And now sit here and hope to survive when you're not willing to learn.
I would say she bristles, but all things considered, she has something of an altered state of mind. So rather than getting agitated as she might normally and kind of getting a little bristly, she just slumps a tad further into the pillow.
Oh, Mina. Lift her chin up. Don't you see now the folly you've been in?
Had to.
Oh, I know you did. But you keep telling me that as if it's an excuse that I would just simply say, oh, all is forgiven, Mina. You never had to do anything. You made the choice. And then you were forced. Because of you, the choice you made. So don't tell me you had to. You chose the path you walked, all by yourself. That's not what we are. That's not what you were raised to be. And that's not what I expect of you. Looking forward. That's not what you should be expecting of yourself either.
No, never yet.
It appears you've missed out all the festivities. A new prince. Coordinated just so finely. An alliance that you nearly jeopardized with your actions.
She's still just quietly watching, studying. Not from her usual kind of tense place of fight or flight so much as like a kicked dog kind of waiting for another. She's curled down.
But not to worry. I was there to always pick up the pieces. And if anything, this is going to be most interesting. So, Mina, I want you to write down everything you know about what was inside your head. I want you to give it to me. I'll read it and look over and we'll talk about it later, you and I. But you're going to tell me everything. I'm giving you the choice. Either you'll tell me, or I'll take it.
You mean, well, they had me.
Everything, Mina. You're going to tell me everything. Not one detail will be left out. Because if I find it is from that beautiful mind of yours, well, let's just say things will get interesting. You won't die. We'll just finally see what's underneath that stubbornness. But you're not going to do that to me, are you?
No.
Not when you want to survive.
Why would I keep this from you?
Exactly.
I didn't invite them in.
Your friend, Quill. You should know that they have declared war on the Tremere. Which ergo, thanks to the alliance made by myself and others, means that this clan is now aligned with Clan Tremere. Oh god, what's her win penalty? If you're on 4, then it's -2.
Yep.
What you doing there, buddy?
Not making a face.
Really?
Checking to see if I have anything that helps. Of course I don't.
Roll that shit.
And then -2 dice. Nothing.
How you doing there, Meanie?
Oh, sweet little Mina doesn't look very happy. She
Well, they did
has hunkered further and further down, and particularly all these things aligning against someone that she's tied herself to so tightly. She finally gets the faintest glint of the familiar stubborn expression. It's the tiniest edge of it, really.
But not to worry, Mina, darling. This is the first lesson. The very first lesson you should have learned, but you chose to ignore, and now you're paying the price. But again, it is no problem. We can fix that. You see, the Salubri have done this to themselves. However, that doesn't mean you can't take what Quill wants. Doesn't mean you can't secure your own assets and make sure that when the time comes, you deliver him on a silver platter. You just have to make sure that you yourself first are secure. I hope that you didn't share anything with him.
No.
Did you?
She this time shakes her head very slightly.
Well, there's that. At least you were smart. So what I would do if I was you... Actually, no. You've already gotten my advice. It's time for you to see and learn what it is to be one of us. This clan is pushing. And if the Salubri are falling, we are not going to be falling with them.
No,
You.
of course not.
You must make sure that Malkavian presence where you have is secured. And when the day comes for Quill and his influences, once he falls, I don't expect you to be falling with him.
said before, I'm not stupid.
Well, forgive my bluntness, but you've been very much acting like it.
Those actions weren't my choice.
Oh, no, 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 no. We're not doing that again. We're not indulging in that little habit that you like to do. You walk forward.
She actually, for what it's worth, especially as he comes into like a range where he's about to where he could reach out and touch any part of her, she shrinks.
Oh, you don't like the truth, do you not, Mina? Does it sting at your pride? Does it nestle down in you and rot?
You'll just see a mild tension in her jaw as she just firmly closes it.
Does it not bother you that you are played like a fool? Or do you continue to say, it was not my choice, Garnet? I couldn't have done anything. Does it not bother you that you were duped so easily? Does it not bother you to stand up, getting closer, that you paraded yourself around like a whore, while all the while you've been strung along on a golden string? Does it not bother you that you believe the same things as me, and yet are nothing more than a slave? Does it not bother you?
Gotta make a couple checks here.
By all means.
God damn it. I'm gonna get in trouble. So much trouble. So let's see if she has. Nope, she doesn't. She just wilts further and further. Thankfully, instead of having the oomph to get angry,
Mm-hmm.
she just gets more and more piteous. The further he leans in, the more he says. She might have once or twice started to part her lips, but each time, as he continues talking, she just cows.
It's almost like he planned this whole thing.
And by this point, she has slumped so far down and begun kind of antsy like. She reaches up, taking a couple strands of hair and just fiddling with them, giving herself something to look at, anything else to look at. He looks away.
Answer me, Mina. Does it not bother you?
And considering that was a botch, she probably is. There's that thin line of red at the base of either of her eyes. And especially as he presses, it only takes like all of a blink for like a tear to start rolling down her cheeks. Just hideous self pity.
Oh, my darling Mina. My poor sweet sister. Oh. You stretch out and stroke her hair. Suddenly, face full of sympathy, Katie.
Truth be told, at this point, she's fragile enough emotionally that it's very possible that if he's like settled on the edge of the bed or anything like that, she'll even lean into him.
Oh, Mina, Mina, Mina. You're still that same frightened girl that I met. Trying to parade around like the rest of us. Being so brave. Oh. You lift her chin up so she's looking into his eyes.
And normally she might have like reached up to kind of hastily scrub the cheek clean, but nah, she's just pitiful.
First thing I told you was that girl had died when you became one of us. That girl is dead, Mina. You're dead. Damned creature. But it's okay. For now, you're going to learn the most important lesson. You've learned it. Haven't you? Who are you now loyal to? Who do you only trust?
Trust is such a strong word. But she is in no state to argue that point. So just very quietly, barely audible. It's just you, brother.
He gonna roll that manip sub, because oh boy, that face he makes. He gonna hide that ecstatic face. It's 2 successes.
Well, I'm down 2 dice, so it's an
Was
expression.
Mm-hmm.
So lower diff for me. Meaner.
Don't need 2 dice though.
I know. Shut up. Ah!
He looks so fucking happy. Really fucking happy.
I bet he does. Here's the question: is how malicious is that happiness?
It's not. I wouldn't describe it as malicious. You'd have to P&E then, Katie. You have to do another P&E.
I don't know if she's going that far. I don't think she really has the nerve to push.
I wouldn't say at a glance it would not look malicious. No,
Okay.
It looks more ecstatic.
She manages to get a glance at his expression. And all things told, she's made him happy enough. She just goes to bury her face in his shirt.
Oh, Mina. You lift her chin up. Oh, Mina. My sweet little Yasmina. You can always trust me. Roll that dementation. Here we go, Katie.
Oh, God.
Not many. I'm targeting the sanguine section. By the way.
I know what you're doing.
I only get the 1 success, though.
That's okay. It's fleeting, but it's as he's
saying that line and looks dead in her eyes, that briefest flicker of happiness and all the accompanying emotions related to that positive vibe rushes for the split second, a minute.
Yeah, she, in response, I don't know how well she should have enough spare blood to push around to actually flush. She's got blush of health. It's all part of feigning humanity. So yeah, she actually goes somewhat flush and gets caught in it. Briefly abandons that just piteous kick dog look. Albeit it's just that fleeting, almost like rapt devotion. You'll even feel like where she's kind of curled around him, like trying to get up under his arm. Feels like the hands kind of digging into the shirt, grasping.
So, Mina, darling, your next lesson. Once Apollo comes to see you, He most certainly will. I want you to count how many times he falls into a transient state for me. Count and watch and how long it takes for him to come out. I want you to watch and I want you to learn every goddamn thing he does. Can you do that?
Yes.
Because a change is needed. We must make sure Apollo is ready for such a change. Don't you think?
Yes, of course.
Then, once you're fully healed, if you truly believe you are capable of thinking like we do, make someone afraid to die. Make someone so scared. Take them so far to the edge. And then give them a way out and see what choice they make. And watch as they cling to whatever indulgence and whatever drive they have left to get the thing they want. Do you think you can do that? He almost says it this excited whisper.
It helps play into the previous little rush, so there's a nod. And again, he feels the fingers kind of like twine into the shirt. Just grasping a little bit more firmly the fabric. She's not trying to like pull it off or anything. She's just taking hold. Yes. Been practicing. Didn't forget.
We shall see what you're truly capable of then.
Anything?
We'll see. We shall see. And don't forget, Bella is mine. We're going to make sure of that, aren't we?
You can have her. I'll give
Good.
her to you.
Will you now, as he stands up? With nothing in return?
You've asked no promises of me.
No. I only offer you
An understanding.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh
That's
no, what did you do?
5 successes, hitting the sanguine emotion.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hang on, so let me check how much 5 is.
A long time.
Hey, at least it's not fucking depression or anything.
That's true.
Dementation.
It's more than a week.
I'm just double checking how long it is. I can't remember how
Please
long
do.
5 is. Okay, 5. That's a month.
Well, so noted for the entire month of May.
And when he is saying this, he'll turn slowly. Because the Malkavian house is now being funded by the clan. And the steps are beginning. And all of us are going to rise. We're all going to take the steps we need. And I only offer you a chance to seize what you are, what you claim to be. I am no binding. I am giving you an opportunity. Chance to learn. Are you willing to take that chance? Boom! That's when the dem hits.
Very well. Give me 1 second to see everything that's
1, 2, 3,
comprised in
4.
that.
Yeah, your world score is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5.
Oh,
Jesus.
absolutely. I looked. Let me just quickly double check all the emotions that are in there because I know the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I specifically targeted the sanguine thing.
Yep. I'm just checking to make sure I remember what all it encompasses besides the obvious. Okay. And how much has he like stood himself up and like gotten out of her reach?
He has stood himself up like a regal king. He's within reach, but you wouldn't be able to pull him down, essentially.
I
But he
mean,
looks incredibly grandiose, if you get what I'm saying.
and yeah, she reaches up and doesn't go to like take his hand in an affectionate way, not in a I know you fondness kind of way, but rather reaches up, grasping the sleeve and the wrist, almost kind of a not plaintive, just seizing on to how he has become this beacon of hope and, well, among other things. But it's like he just everything she wants. So she reaches up and grasps at the wrist, not tight enough to be a controlling grasp by any means. Oh well, I'll take it.
I'm glad you made the choice.
All of it.
I'm so glad you made the choice. And you reach and touch her cheek.
My, but she's responsive.
Now, once you heal tomorrow, you'll be able to go riding.
I will.
Yes. Don't you want to ride?
Yes.
There you go, then. Just remember me now. Isn't this what you want? Isn't this what you choose? To take the chance?
And she is still, however far he has leaned down to touch her cheek. She's it's definitely more of the one kind of grasping at his shirt. It's nothing that he couldn't like if he went to stand up, she wouldn't be holding it down like trying to force him down. Just he's there and she wants. So she's kind of grabbing. Yes.
Good. Good. Well, then rest, my little sister. You reach over and plant a delicate kiss on her forehead and begin to walk off, whistling so very softly.
And she responds, even lifts up a bit as he leans down to kiss her forehead. Though there's blatantly like that hungry tinge, as that is all she gets. And he starts to stand up again. She'll still be grasping loosely at the sleeve, but she's not going to hold him down.
And he'll close the door very slowly.
You have to go.
I have to do important business. But I'll be back soon. And you'll hear me play. I promise. Wink.
There's a. She actually looks a little flustered, if anything, but nods and begrudgingly begins to lean back into the pillow again.
And when Skarna closes the door, the biggest devil smile emerges on his face. As he's walking down outside, he will simply say, Oh, Mina, you said such the wrong answer, but such the right one for me. He just seems to whistle as he's walking.
With that, I think call it a scene.
Yeah.